Grow your cleaning business. Make more money. Have more time. This is the Profit Cleaners Podcast with your hosts, Brandon Condry and Brandon Shane.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Profit Cleaners, the only place where you can learn from the top 1% of cleaning business owners from around the world to up-level your game, take it to the next level, and win. I'm your host, Brandon Shane, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Brandon Condry. That's me.
That's right, the Profit Cleaners in the house. And today, guys, we have some very special, valuable content to share with you, all about the 4 habits we implemented to win Best of the City 4 years running. We just finished the competition again, guys. We just won Best of the City here in Albuquerque with the cleaning business once again, and we want to fill you guys in on the details. Success leaves clues, and we want to share with those clues what those are so you guys can replicate that same success in your market. So let's go ahead and dive in. You ready, Brandon?
Yeah, of course.
Let's do it.
You said success leaves clues, and I always like telling people this, but we get this little medallion when we win Best of the City, and we leave them on the cars, and we update it every year. It's like World War II bombers when they would take out an enemy, they'd put a little notch on it. So all the cars have these medallions all over the place. So that's our very overt clue.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yeah, and overall, like, there's opportunities when other people are on the defense, and now during post-pandemic or mid-pandemic, whatever we're calling this time of our lives, there is a lot of opportunity, and it's no different than the Great Depression when people kind of cowered and tucked into their shells. A lot of huge companies grew out of the Great Depression.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. There is an opportunity right now, whether you know it or not, when everything is kind of slowing down. It kind of has felt like that, really, like the last year or two even. It's been a crazy, crazy world out there, and a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, which is actually encouraging to know that if you're experiencing that challenge, well, so are your competitors, right? And they're having to solve that same problem. So it's an opportunity because a lot of people are simply putting their head in the sand. Like you said, Brandon, it's like the Great Depression, going in their shell, they're slowing down, they're like, I don't know what to do, I'm just going to do nothing. So it's actually the biggest opportunity, I think, in our lifetime right now when it comes to business. We might not ever have such a great opportunity in our lifetime again, because this is unprecedented stuff going on in the world right now, and it's an exciting time to be in business because you really can use it for some amazing momentum, some amazing progress that normally would be a lot harder to accomplish, but when you have everyone else slowing down, you just step on the gas and go faster and you win. So
yeah. Of course.
Yeah, so let's tell them a little bit more about Best of the City, though. Like, when we very first started, Brandon, we kind of wanted to get, like you said, the medallion on the car. That was kind of a big part of it. It was like we wanted to build social proof. We were brand new in the market. Nobody knew who we were, so we were like, we need to get some accreditations here, right?
Yeah, so social proof, we've talked about that before. That's very important, but if other people are using you and recommending you, then it makes sense for people that don't know you to trust you as well. So right. Best of the City is put on by a local magazine called Albuquerque the Magazine. There are all kinds of versions of this in your cities and other cities, reader polls for newspapers, whatever. But in Albuquerque in particular, this one, the Albuquerque the Magazine Best of the City, they give you these graphics of these medallions whenever you win or are finalist, and then people collectively as a whole in the city, business owners have just used them. You see them on billboards, you see them on cars, you see them on websites and on promotional material handed out. So we had it from the get-go when we started the business that we needed to win that category so that we could, preach that across the board, put it on everything we have.
Yeah, and we live in Albuquerque. You guys might have a market you're in that does something similar. There's like a best of the town or city, something that's recognition for that business, that local business that does something great. And so it's kind of like bragging rights, to have this medal of honor that goes on our cars, we put on our website. And as Brandon mentioned earlier, it's that social proof, which is like a testimonial almost, where if people see that other people approved and other people had a good experience with your brand, you even won something, well, they're going to be so much more likely now to trust your brand and to want to work with you. And it just kind of removes that doubt, and it removes that, I don't know if I should work with them or not. They just trust you like a lot more automatically. So that's originally how we got in that game when we were like, I think right when we started the business, actually, we just missed the cutoff that first year, right? So we started it in the summer, and the competition was in the fall. So we missed it that first year. But the next year round is when we first got into the game, and that was really exciting. And then, just 4 years straight. So we're going to give you guys the breakdown on the 4 habits, the 4 success habits. These are not only universal for the most successful people in the world that do these things, but also these are the same habits that we're infusing into Sandia Green Clean, into our cleaning business. And we want you guys to model after these clues, model after this success we're having, so you can do the same thing, and you guys can win Best of the City in your market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So 4 habits that made it possible to win 4 years in a row. So the first one is know exactly what your outcome is. You want to be able to know exactly what you want and to reverse engineer it. So lately, entrepreneurship has become a fad. It's cool to play business. I see this a lot on influencers and things like that online. Everyone's a life coach, everyone's a business coach without actually running a business.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, entrepreneurship became all sexy and cool all of a sudden, when it's actually a lot of times it's not glamorous, it's not sexy, it's not cool to be doing the hard work, but that's what it takes to win. And a lot of people kind of glamorize it, and lately it's felt like this kind of like game or something, but it's not a fad, guys. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of goal setting, mindset work, and adaptation to your environment, to overcome challenges. I mean, there's so much that goes into growing a business. So I just want to get that out of the way. But yeah. So, are my goals like really my goals? So if your actions don't back up what your goals are, they aren't your goals, and you're just staying busy for the sake of being busy. So right.
If your goal, we've talked about this before, like with other business owners, but your goal shouldn't be to be busy. I mean, it shouldn't be to create a job for yourself where you're in there 8 to 10 hours a day and you think that you did, like, I did 8 to 10 hours of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not what you should be shooting for.
Yeah, and I think even just like that, not only just having a business, but like setting goals. Like, people set goals all the time, but they don't actually they don't have intention behind those goals, so they're not actually backing up the actions that get them to those goals. And so what ends up happening is exactly what you said, is people are just like, I'm so busy, right? And it's like, being busy is not a symbol of success. It's a sign of being disorganized, out of whack, unfocused, ineffective, and mentally weak, actually, because you're just kind of spinning your wheels, and you're like, it's that the business owner that's working 10, 15-hour days, 8 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever it is, that are just totally burned out, but they're like, but I'm busy and I'm doing something, right? And so we had this written down here, but I think this is so powerful. The world doesn't reward busy. The world rewards effective. And so average people pretend to be busy. Successful people care about results. So that's what it's all about, guys, is you can pretend all day long to be out there working your tail off and doing all the work yourself and wearing 10 hats and carrying all these buckets. But the truth is, if you're just doing that to try to look busy, to feel important or whatever, that's not going to get you to your goals. And you need to be taking the right actions to get to those goals. So, So there's a quote, just being honest with yourself. There's a quote I wanted to share, which we didn't know for sure if Jesus actually said this, but the truth will set you free. I think that is Jesus. And if you're just honest with yourself, I mean, that quote is so powerful, because just tell yourself the truth. Like, are your goals actually your goals, or is it somebody else's goals? Does somebody else want you to create that and actually achieve that, or do you really want to achieve that goal? And I think once you're honest with yourself and you become more transparent with your goals, and just the truth will set you free. Then you'll be like, no, that's actually not my goal. My goal is this, and so I'm going to start taking action in this direction so I can really achieve that goal. So
yeah. So, just because you have the right goal doesn't mean that it's going to be super easy. Things are still going to be hard, and there's going to be work to do. You're still going to have things to do, but you're making sure that you're doing it, in reaction to trying to be effective. You're trying to get to what the goal is, the correct goal.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's not going to be easy. Like we said, it's not glamorous and sexy like everyone thinks being an entrepreneur is. It's hard work. There's going to be challenges, but when you get clear and you get super laser focused on what you want, and you're like we were talking about here, like, we want to win Best of the City. We want to be the best cleaning business in Albuquerque, and and create the best product, well then naturally you're already in that state of clarity where you're free of delusion and lies and all the pressure and all the things that you think other people want for you. You get really clear on what you want, and then you're able to just take massive action towards that one goal, which is where we started 4 years ago. We, or however long ago now it's been that we actually started the business. I think it's 4 years now. But
It's like 4.5. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we started this business with huge intention, man, huge purpose, and I think that's been with us, one of the success habits we've had this whole time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the second habit?
So the second habit is confidence. So knowing not just 100%, but 111%, without a doubt, that action gets results. And you have to believe that, guys, because if you don't believe it, you won't back up, your goals with those actions, because your subconscious is just not going to push you through it, because whatever. Your subconscious doesn't always know the difference between reality and not reality. So be careful what you tell yourself, right? That's why negative self-talk is so horrible. You got to tell yourself positive stuff. You got to inspire yourself, because as soon as you start introducing fear, uncertainty, doubt, it puts you into a really negative state. And so when you're operating in an aggressive state, you're confident, you're moving forward, you believe that action is going to get that result, then there's no room for negative emotions. There's no room for feeling down and feeling like you're lazy or you don't want to do it. You want to do it because you're so driven, and you believe that, hey, if I take this action, I'm going to get the results. So tell them the third one.
I find that a lot of people, feel that action eliminates worry. So if you're worried about something, then take action on something that's going to move you towards your goal.
Absolutely.
Fear, uncertainty, doubt. Some people will call that FUD. You can see that online, FUD.
Yep.
So just try not to do it. Like Brandon and I both have had businesses in the past. They were little like side hustles and things like that. Those never worked for me, and a lot of the times it was because I didn't have the confidence that it was going to work enough to ever get me out of my day job. So it didn't.
Yeah.
This was the one time when we really sat down and we're like, no, this is going to work. Yeah. And I quit my day job. I quit the big high-paying sales job to start a cleaning company, which didn't make sense to a lot of people. But here we are.
Yeah, there you go, man. So let's tell them what's the third one, Brandon?
It's kind of a play on that second one, but eliminate doubt from your mindset. So, we have zero problems struggling with what ifs. What if I build this and it doesn't work? What if I launch a new cleaning team and it fails, or a new cleaning company and it fails? So you just try not to think about those things. If the last one worked, if you're convinced that it's going to work, just press forward.
Yeah, and when you're first starting out, you might not be able to look around and be like, oh, there's undeniable proof this is going to work. But when we started this, and we got our mentor, right? And maybe you guys are looking at us and listening to us, and we're your mentor right now. We're the undeniable proof that this is working. Okay, so if it's not currently surrounding you right now, just look at us, look at the people you're surrounding yourself with, and just realize that we're just normal dudes. Brandon and I are not super skilled or super like gold medal entrepreneurs and like crazy, like better than you or something like that. We're just normal guys. And so what it comes down to, guys, is success is not a theory, it's an equation. And it's the same thing. If you do the work, and you keep doing the work, and you keep showing up, putting in the work consistently, the results come. And a lot of people kind of quit a little too early, usually, is what happens. They'll put in a little work, they'll kind of do a side hustle, and they didn't really see anything happen, and then they quit too early. Whereas if they kept doing the right thing long enough, they would have seen more results come through. A lot of people just quit too early. That's the same with sports. That's the same with a lot of things in life, relationships.
The other side of that coin is that, if you're doing the right work, you do it for long enough, success will come. But the other side of that is that you're doing the wrong work, and that goes back to that busy thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, you cleaned a lot of houses today, you helped your cleaners, or you opened a lot of mail, or you distracted yourself by researching something, whatever it may be, but that's the wrong work. So doing that work is not going to lead to the success part. So it's doing the right work for long enough to get the results.
Yeah, and just having, when you can cultivate that belief, doubt just kind of disappears out the window, because you're like, results are going to come no matter what. Like, I just know if I keep pushing forward, if I keep taking action every day, even if it's just 1, 2, 3 little things you're doing every day, but you're just nonstop, you're just hacking away at it, eventually you're going to hack away through that tree and it's going to fall over, right? So It might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be 5 years from now. We're proof in the pudding right here that it's, it didn't work for us day one, but we worked at it. We kept working at it. We kept putting time in and showing up, and we're 4 years in now, and we're definitely, on the road to success. We're not where we want to be yet. It's a journey, but yeah, guys, I think no matter what, you put in the work, the results will come 100% of the time if you just don't quit. So start developing that mindset of tenacity, fortitude, grit, whatever it takes to win. Go the extra mile to do whatever it takes, and you will win, right? So, but that's what it is for us. It's just we have zero doubt that we can accomplish anything if we just put the effort in. So you guys need to cultivate that belief too. Just believe it, and it'll happen.
So last one is don't delay the win. So act like you want the win right now. You want to act so that you're going to get the results and then mark that down as a W on the score sheet.
Yeah.
Like, I won. How do you win the day? Brandon Shane used to say that to me all the time. He used to come in here when we were literally small and write in this notebook, win the day. And then he'd write a bunch of things below it. Like, this is how I'm going to win the day.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And it's like, it sounds so simple and silly, but it's like the greatest empires and the greatest things on earth were all created by little tiny things, just like little seeds being planted every single day. And even if a lot of the more I study successful people, I realize that they're doing exactly what we're talking about. They're nothing special. They're nothing. They're not a rocket scientist or someone that's super smart that can do this better than you. It's just they're disciplined and they show up and they take action. And it's about doing like small wins, guys. So like, you might think, oh, wait, I got to hit a home run and hit it out of the park every time. No, it's about being in the game, hitting those base hits, right? Like just being in the game, and you hit that base hit, you hit that base run, you run a few bases. Eventually, you're going to hit that home run, but it takes time sometimes. And if you,
Part of it too is like there's another way to look at this, right? You mark every day down as a win, but if you're not feeling that you actually won, let's say you had a bad day, something failed, something didn't work. The question that I like to ask myself in those situations is, where is the gift in this? Where is the gift in this failure that you can learn from and then mark that down as a win? So
there you go.
We tried a new advertising campaign. We wasted a bunch of money, like whatever it was. We didn't get any near the amount of conversions. Well, where's the win in that? Well, we learned that doesn't work. We learned that particular strategy isn't the way to do it. So the win in that particular scenario is that we're going to take that off the table for things that we're going to do in the future for marketing. So that type of thing can be applied to anything. You broke some stuff in a cleaner's house. Where's the win in that? We just learned that we need to change a policy to not pick up lamps or whatever. Like those things are the way to get the little wins all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And also, guys, it's just putting yourself in a state of winning. I mean, it feels good to win, right? So put yourself in an environment where you can be winning a lot, even if it's just, I got up today and I made my bed. Boom, there's a win right there, right? And you'd be surprised. That's actually what a lot of successful people do, is just get up in the day. The first thing they do in their day is make their bed. And then they have like a whole morning routine. Brandon and I are actually talking about doing a whole episode about getting in the flow state and getting a routine to be more successful. We're going to do another episode on that soon. But it feels good to win, right? So when you start winning, you want to just keep winning. And you want to do it again and again and again as much as possible. So if you can't appreciate the win on a day-to-day basis, you're going to have a really hard time in entrepreneurship, because it's not always about the big wins. It's about the little wins. It's about the little things along the way, and they build up and propel you with that momentum, to get to the big wins and the home runs. So why would you want to delay the win? If you're doing that, you're just simply delaying your own ability to build bulletproof confidence, and you're doing that with a lack of urgency, right? So you got to keep attacking, keep being aggressive, and just creating wins however possible. Even if it's just like, got to make that phone call today, I got to send that email, I got to do this thing, the next little thing to grow my business. It doesn't have to be big, just something to build that momentum. A win, 1, 2, 3 wins, whatever it is. Keep it small. Don't overwhelm yourself.
That goes back to the goal thing that we talked about before too. So if you've got a big goal, the best cleaning company in town, the 7-figure business, reverse engineer it. We've talked about that before too. So take that goal into a smaller chunk. What do I have to do in the next year to make that happen?
Yes.
Okay, what do I have to do in the next 3 months of that year to make that happen?
Yep.
What do I have to do the next month? What do I have to do tomorrow?
Yep.
So those little wins are the what do I have to do tomorrow? I have to make that phone call, make the email, order the thing, like whatever it is.
Yep.
Those are the wins that will, keep pushing you forward.
Absolutely, guys. It's just about building those small successes, and then they turn into the big ones. I can tell you when we first started, we did not have as many wins in the beginning, but we just kept hacking away, and it was like we got another customer win, we got another thing figured out, another win, but then it just builds on the next one and the next one until you start having these much bigger wins. But again, it starts with the small ones. So let's throw a bonus in there, Brandon. We got one extra one. We said 4. We're going to give you guys 4 success habits on how we won Best of the City, but we got 5 actually. So
sure. Urgency. Know that you don't have all the time in the year. Brandon, sometimes you say to me things like money like speed, and that always makes me nervous because I'm the analytical one. I like to game it out in a spreadsheet and see how it works, but I could do that forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of times, guys, that's a huge success habit of really successful people, and this is what we've built into the strategy in growing San Diego Green Clean. Is you have to attack critical tasks first, and you still have a life. You can't just be hacking away all the time, but you have to have urgency, and not just picking and choosing what's urgent. Like, this is going to be urgent some of the time, and sometimes it's not. That's how most people live their life. And it's like, if you could think, for example, the guy that doesn't pay his mortgage until his house is foreclosed, and then he's like, what the heck, man? It's like he didn't have urgency the whole time. He wasn't paying his bills, and then he's going to blame the bank because they foreclosed in his house. Or the guy that's writing love letters to his ex-girlfriend because she broke up with him, but really he wasn't urgent about the relationship the whole time they were in, because he wasn't telling her he loved her the whole time. So it's like, you got to build that urgency into what you're doing, right?
Yep. I can relate this back to flying a plane because people know by now that I'm obsessed with that idea. But there's this concept in learning how to be a pilot where you want to stay ahead of the plane. So you have to anticipate what's going to happen with weather, with procedures, with checklists, and you have to stay ahead of it. If you get behind it, you now have a whole bunch of stuff that you have to do right away. And if everything is urgent, then nothing is urgent, and you're just scrambling.
Yeah. And that's true, man. Like a lot of people don't know, which things should be urgent, but it's just like, think about it. Like, everything to a degree can be urgent. You have to obviously pick and choose your battles and stuff, but not being urgent kills all your dreams. Just straight up, if you're going to be lazy, if you're going to be complacent, if you're going to just be like, I'll put it off till tomorrow, get to it later, that kind of attitude, that's going to kill your dreams, guys, because it's going to put you in a place you're going to be moving backwards, right? And you really could run out of time. I think that's the biggest thing, is people think they have unlimited time, and you see it all the time. People, like I see it, that are people that are older than me, and they regret not working as hard earlier in their life, or they regret not going to practice as much if maybe they're a pro football player or something. There's those regrets, and that's one of the biggest things I think. One of the most negative things you could have at the end of your life is regret, knowing that you could have put in more, you could have had more urgency, you could have done more, and you didn't. And like, what a bad way to go out, So I don't know if you've ever had a near-death experience, Brandon. I have.
I have not.
I was so people that have had near-death experiences definitely have this way more. I was working under my car when I was in college. I got home from work one night, and I would change my oil on my car and stuff. I had this super low car. It was like a race, I don't know, it was an Acura Integra, and it was dropped and everything. It had racing wheels, and I was like, I'll just fix this real quick. And I didn't have my normal ramps, so I put it up on these jacks that I was borrowing from a neighbor, and I had never used them before. And I was under there taking out the oil filter, and the whole car, it was like in slow motion. My life flashed before my eyes. The car tipped over, and it literally fell, like the jacks came out from under the car, and I was scooting out, and it fell on my chest, and I caught it, and I swear it was like a miracle, man. I don't even know how I got out from under the car. I was just able to lift it enough to squeeze out from under it, and I'll never forget that day, man. I had like nightmares for weeks. Like I thought I was gonna die, all this stuff. But every time I relive that moment, I just realize, like, man, life is so precious, and it could end at any moment. And you see it happen all the time. Like when people pass away, it's never the perfect time. It's never the right time. So you got to start living your life like that. Like, time is ticking. Don't operate your life without being urgent or just when it's convenient, right? Like, every detail in your life, every detail in your business should be attacked with urgency. So, yeah.
So be focused, be diligent in the pursuit of your goal,
Yep.
of the business, of the lifestyle that you want as a result of achieving the business goal.
Yep.
So operate with urgency daily to execute Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Yep.
Just get to it.
Yeah, if you attack the day with that urgency, you're going to be in a great spot, 2-3 years from now, whatever it is, because you're just constantly taking that deliberate action, whereas a lot of people are just going to be like, I'll get to it later, whereas you're going to be the one, pulling ahead, because it's just that urgency, that attitude of, hey, I don't have time. Like, I might not be here that much longer, and you never know, guys. So do it now. Like, if you're waiting to put something off, quit doing that, right? Like, create some more urgency around it. Find a way to make it super urgent and get it done, especially if it's something that's going to move your business forward, right? Because sometimes those are the hardest things to do. But once you do them, you're like, man, why was I putting that off so long? Like, that was so easy, and now it made everything so much better. So, yeah. So I think that's it.
Yeah. Those are the habits we use, in our entrepreneur lives to build Sandia Green Clean and win Best of the City 4 years running. That being said, there's a couple things for you to do here at the end if you've stayed long enough.
Yeah.
The home cleaning training system course is out
Yeah.
on profitcleaners.com. That's the one that everyone's been asking for, so it is available. It is open to you right now.
Yeah, guys, this is the framework that you can. We always say the riches are in the niches, but once you get the framework to build within that niche, that's really the powerful part of growing this business. Is you can try to figure it out willy-nilly and just kind of skate on your own, just figure it out. But when you're growing within a system, when you're modeling after success, which is exactly what we did, guys. We just modeled a mentor that we found up in Denver. He showed us the ropes. He had been in business 20 plus years already, figuring this out. And he even told us, Brandon, he was like, man, if I was just like you guys, I would have just joined one of these groups and got one of these courses early in the days. I would have saved so much time and headache.
Yep, yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. If you guys haven't seen the call we did with Corby, it is on the website. If you go to profitcleaners.com/cleaning systems, you can check out the live call we did with Corby. We dive into the course, the 3 secrets for growing your cleaning business, doing way less work, using these systems to automate a lot of the efficiencies and become a lot more efficient, so you can clean more and actually don't even have to do the cleaning anymore. If you're tired of cleaning or you want to grow your team, this is a great way to do it, guys. So working smart and not hard, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So the podcast, as always, though, is still free. So the price of admission for that is to share it with someone. Leave a review.
Yep.
Leave us a comment. We're on all the major podcast platforms, so leave us a review. Let us know what you think. That is always very helpful. Subscribe.
Yeah.
And if you know someone who thinks they can benefit from the podcast, we've had other people that aren't home cleaners tell us that there's value in it as well. So
Yeah.
just tell someone about it.
Absolutely, guys. If you're getting value out of it, if it helped you grow in any way, change your perspective, just please pay it forward, right? Just share it out, leave us a review. That's how we grow the show organically. We're not running a bunch of annoying ads that we could, 10 minutes of ads like some of these podcasts. So please help us out, guys. We're growing our cleaning business alongside you, and give it a share. Tell someone, share the wealth, guys. Let's pass it around.
In the meantime, keep it
clean.
Thanks for joining us today. To get more info, including show notes, updates, trainings, and super cool free stuff, head over to profitcleaners.com. And remember, keep it clean.